Subscribe to Dr. Khalkar's Classroom channel and press the bell icon to get latest updates. Hello everyone, I hope you are doing great. In my previous lecture video, I have discussed about electromagnetic waves. In this lecture video, I will discuss about interference phenomena. So let's get started. The content of this lecture video is as follows. First of all, I will discuss about interference phenomena, concept of thin film, phase and path difference. Followed by I will discuss about interference in thin film of uniform thickness and in wedge-shaped thin film. Interference is a natural phenomena that happens at every place and at every moment. Yet we don't see interference patterns everywhere. Interference is the phenomena in which two waves superpose to form the resultant wave of the lower, higher or the same amplitude. The most commonly seen interference is the optical interference or light interference. This is because light waves are randomly generated from most of the sources. This means that light waves coming out of the source do not have a constant amplitude, frequency or phase. In thin film, interference is a natural phenomena in which light waves reflected by the upper and lower boundaries of the thin film and interfere with one another, either enhancing or reducing the reflected light. The most common example of interference of light is the soap bubble, which reflects white colors when illuminated by a light source. Thin film interference explains the multiple colors seen in the light reflected from soap bubbles and oil films on water. When the thickness of the film is an odd multiple of 1/4 wavelength of the light on it, the reflected waves from both surfaces interfere to cancel each other. Since the wave cannot be reflected, it is completely transmitted instead. When the thickness is a multiple of a half wavelength of the light, the two reflected waves reinforce each other, increasing the reflection and reducing the transmission. Thus, when white light, which consists of a range of wavelengths, is incident on the film, certain wavelengths, let's say colors, are intensified while others are attenuated. In these two pictures, first of all, a colorful interference pattern is observed when light is reflected from the top of the bottom or the boundaries of the thin film, which is oil film. In the second picture, the colors in the light reflected from the soap bubble is shown here. The interference in two traveling waves is shown in this figure number 2. The phenomena of interference between the waves is based on this idea. That is, when two or more waves traverse the same space, the net amplitude at each point is the sum of the amplitudes of the individual waves. Interference of left traveling, it is shown in green color, and the right traveling, which is shown in blue color, waves in one dimension resulting in the final, that is red color wave. In some cases, such as in noise cancelling headphones, the summed variation has a smaller amplitude than the component variations. This is called destructive interference. In other cases, such as in line array, the summed variation will have a bigger amplitude than any of the components individually. This is called constructive interference. Now consider, for example, what happens when two identical stones are dropped into a still pool of water at different locations. Each stone generates a circular wave propagating towards from the point where the stone was dropped, which is shown in this diagram. When the two waves overlap, the net displacement at a particular point is the sum of the displacements of the individual waves. At some points, these will be in phase and will produce a maximum displacement. In other places, the waves will be in antiphase and there will be no net displacement at these points. Thus, part of the surface will be stationary. These are seen in the figure to right as a stationary blue-green lines radiating from the center. Now let's see the types of interference. The principle of superposition of waves states that when two or more waves of the same type are incident on the same point, the resultant amplitude at that point is equal to the vector sum of the amplitudes of the individual waves. Interference of light waves can be either constructive interference or destructive interference. If the crest of a wave meets the crest of another wave of the same frequency at the same point, then the resultant amplitude is the sum of individual amplitudes. This is known as constructive interference. These waves will have the same displacement and are in the same phase. Similarly, if the crest of the wave meets the trough of the another wave, then the resultant amplitude is equal to the difference in the individual amplitudes. This is known as destructive interference. The displacement and the phase of these waves are not the same. In physics, interference is a phenomena in which two waves superpose to form a resultant wave of greater, lower, or the same amplitude. This definition we have already seen. The constructive and destructive interference results from the interaction of the waves that are correlated or coherent with each other, either because they come from the same source or because they have the same or nearly the same frequency. Interference effects can be observed with all types of the waves. For example, light waves, radio waves, acoustic waves, surface water waves, gravity waves, or matter waves. We will see types of the waves in detail in unit number 3, that is the wave mechanics. As shown in these diagrams, the interference of two waves, when in phase, the two lower waves create constructive interference, resulting in a wave of greater amplitude. When 180 degree out of phase, they create destructive interference of the light, which is shown in these two diagrams. Now we understood that interference is a natural phenomena that happens at every place and at every moment in which light waves coming out of a source do not have a constant amplitude, frequency, or phase. Two sources are said to be coherent when the waves emitted from them have the same frequency and constant phase difference. The coherent sources have the following characteristics. The waves generated have a constant phase difference and the waves are of single frequency. Coherent sources, for example, laser light is an example of coherent source of light. The light emitted by the laser light has the same frequency and phase. Sound waves are another example of coherent sources. The electrical signals from the sound waves travel with the same frequency and phase. So we will discuss all these properties in detail in unit number 2, that is in lasers. Now let's see the concept of thin film. The thin film comparison is shown in this figure number 4. Let's say the controlled synthesis of materials as a thin films, a process referred to as deposition, is a fundamental step in many applications. A familiar example is the household mirror, which typically has a thin metal coating on the back of a sheet of glass to form a reflective interface. The process of silvering was once commonly used to produce mirrors, while more recently the metal layer is deposited using techniques such as sputtering technology. Nanofilms and deposition techniques we will discuss in unit number 6, that is nanotechnology. The comparison of films is shown here in this diagram. So more commonly says a thin film is a layer of material ranging from fraction of nanometers, which is monolayer, to several micrometers in thickness. A foil is a very thin sheet of metal usually made by hammering or rolling. Foils are most easily made with malleable metals such as aluminum, copper, tin, and gold. Foils usually bend under their own weight and can be torn easily. The more malleable a metal, the thinner foil can be made within. For example, aluminum foil is usually about 0.03 millimeter, whereas gold, more malleable than aluminum, can be made into foil only a few atoms thick, called gold leaf. Extremely thin foil is called metal leaf. Leaf tears very easily and must be picked up with special brushes. Thickness of foils is about 1 to few tenths micrometers. Next one is thick film. A layer of magnetic, superconductor or metallic material that is thicker than the microscopic layers of the transistors on a chip. For example, metallic thick films are silk screened onto the ceramic base of hybrid microcircuits. Thickness of thick films is about tens to hundreds micrometers. Next one is a sheet. A sheet is a thinner item of metal that has been cut from a continuously rolled coil. A plate is a thicker item of metal that has been produced or rolled as a single item. Thickness of sheets is about few hundreds to thousands of micrometers. So this is the comparison of thin film and the concept of thin film. Now let's see the phase and path difference. The figure shows two incident light beams, light beam A and light beam B. Each beam produces a reflected beam which is shown in dashed line. The reflections of interest are beam A's reflection of the lower surface and the beam B's reflection of the upper surface. These reflected beams combine to produce a resultant beam C. If the reflected beams are in phase as shown in the first figure, the resultant beam is relatively strong. If on the other hand the reflected beams have opposite phase, the resultant beam is attenuated as in the second figure. The phase relationship of the two reflected beams depends on the relationship between the wavelength of a beam A in the film and the film's thickness. If the total distance beam A travel in the film is an integer multiple of the wavelength of the beam in the film, then the two reflected beams are in the phase and constructively interfere as shown in the first figure. If the distance traveled by beam A is an odd integer multiple of the half wavelength of light in the film, the beams destructively interfere, which is shown in the figure number 2. Thus, the film shown in these figures reflects more strongly at the wavelength of the light beam in the first figure and the less strongly at that of the beam in the second figure. The phase angle is the part of one complete wave cycle measured as a fraction of 2 pi, that is 360 degrees. That is the phase difference from one wave peak to the next is 2 pi, that is 360 degrees as shown in this diagram. The phase difference is the difference in phase angle between two waves, which is shown in this diagram. The path difference is defined as the difference in actual distance traveled by the two waves. So according to this diagram, you can easily understand the phase difference and the phase angle. The relation between phase difference and path difference are direct. They are directly proportional to each other. For any two waves with the same frequency, phase difference and path difference are related as delta x is equal to lambda upon 2 pi into delta phi, where delta x is the path difference between two waves and delta phi is the phase difference between two waves. So this is all about the interference phenomena and path difference and the phase difference. Now one of very important point in this unit we are going to discuss, that is interference in thin film of uniform thickness. The demonstration of the optical path length difference for light reflected from the upper and lower boundaries of the thin film is shown in this diagram. In optics, a thin film is a layer of material with thickness in the sub-nanometer to micro range. As light strikes to the surface of a film, it is either transmitted or reflected at the upper surface. Light that is transmitted reaches the bottom surface and may once again be transmitted or reflected. The light reflected from the upper and lower surfaces will interfere. The degree of constructive or destructive interference between the two light waves depends on the difference in their phase. This difference in turn depends on the thickness of the film layer, the refractive index of the film, and the angle of incidence of the original wave on the film. Additionally, a phase shift of 180 degree or pi radians may be introduced upon reflection at a boundary depending on the refractive indices of the materials on either side of the boundary. This phase shift occurs if the refractive index of the medium the light is traveling through is less than the refractive index of the material it is striking. In other words, mu1 is less than mu2 and the light is traveling from material 1 to material 2, then a phase shift occurs upon reflection. The pattern of light that results from this interference can appear either as light and dark bands or as colorful bands depending upon the source of the incident light. Now in this diagram, as you can see, AB is a beam of light of amplitude, let's say A, incident on the upper surface of the film. BR1 is the light reflected from the upper surface of the film. BC is light transmitted into the film through the upper surface. CD is a light reflected from the lower surface of the film. CT1 is a light transmitted out the film through the lower surface. DE and then E2 is the light transmitted outside the film through the upper surface. DR2 is the light emerged out from the upper surface of the film. So in this diagram, I is the angle of incident, R is the angle of refraction, mu is the refractive index of the material, and T is the thickness of the film. The optical path difference between the two reflected rays can be written as delta is equal to mu in bracket BC plus CD bracket complete minus BN. Let's say this is equation number 1. From figure, in triangle BDN, sin I is equal to BN upon BD and BC is equal to CD. As triangle BMC is equivalent to triangle MCD, therefore delta is equal to 2 mu BC minus BD sin of I. Let's say this is equation number 2. In triangle BMC, cos of R is equal to small t upon BC, where t is a thickness. Therefore, we can write delta is equal to 2 mu t divided by cos of R minus BD into sin of I. Therefore, we can write this equation delta is equal to 2 mu t upon cos of R minus 2 bm sin of I. So in triangle BMC, we can write tan of R is equal to bm upon small t. Therefore, the path difference we can write delta is equal to 2 mu t upon cos of R minus 2 into t in bracket tan of R bracket complete into sin of I. Let's say this is equation number 3. So according to the Snell's law, we can write mu is equal to sin of I upon sin of R. Therefore, mu into sin of R is equal to sin I. This is just a rearrangement of the equation. Therefore, delta is equal to 2 mu t upon cos of R minus 2 mu t tan of R into sin of R. Therefore, we can write delta is equal to 2 mu t upon cos of r minus 2 mu t sine 2r upon cos r, because tan is nothing but the sine upon cos. So simply replacing tan by sine and cos here. Therefore, delta is equal to 2 mu t upon cos of r into 1 minus sine 2r. Therefore, after simplification, we can write delta is equal to 2 mu t upon cos r into cos 2r. Therefore, finally, we can rearrange this equation. We have delta is equal to 2 mu t cos of r. Let's say this is equation number 4. Therefore, correction on account of phase change at reflection, we can write, or we can say that when a beam is reflected from a denser medium, that is ray R1 at point B in the diagram, a path change of lambda by 2 occur for the ray. Therefore, true path difference can be written as delta is equal to 2 mu t cos of r plus lambda by 2. Let's say this is equation number 5. So equation number 5 is the equation of the path difference when the light interference in thin film of uniform thickness occurs. Now let's see the condition of maxima, that is bright fringe. Maxima occurs when the path difference is equal to, that is the delta is equal to n lambda. Therefore, from the equation number 5, we can have the path difference delta is equal to 2 mu t cos of r plus lambda by 2. So equating these two equations, 2 mu t cos of r plus lambda by 2 is equal to n lambda. After simplification this equation, we can write 2 mu t cos of r is equal to plus minus 2n minus 1 in bracket into lambda divided by 2. Let's say this is equation number 6. This equation number 6 is the condition of maxima, that is for the bright fringe. Now let's see the condition for minima, that is the dark fringe. Minima occurs when the path difference, that is delta, is equal to in bracket 2n minus 1 bracket complete into lambda divided by 2. So we have equation number 5 again. Delta is equal to 2 mu t cos of r plus lambda by 2. So equating these two equations of path difference, we can write 2 mu t cos of r plus lambda by 2 is equal to 2n minus 1 in bracket into lambda divided by 2. So after simplification, we can write, therefore 2 mu t cos of r is equal to plus minus n lambda. Let's say this is equation number 7. So equation number 7 is the condition of minima for the dark fringe. So as far as the interference in thin film of uniform thickness, these two conditions, that is condition of maxima and condition of minima, are very important. Now let's see the interference in wedge-shaped film. In figure number 8 is the demonstration of the optical path length difference for light reflected from the upper and lower boundaries of a wedge-shaped film is shown. When a wedge-shaped thin film of some transparent material is exposed to light, straight line patterns of colors can be seen for this due to the interference of light reflected from upper and lower surface of the film via the method of division of amplitude. Now let us consider, let wedge-shaped thin film of refractive index mu and angle of wedge, that is theta, be considered with an air medium. It is assumed the surfaces of the film have high reflection coefficient. In diagram, ray AB is a beam of light of amplitude say A incident on the upper surface of the film. The ray BR1 is the light reflected from the upper surface of the film. The light ray BC is the light transmitted into the film through the lower surface. Light ray CD is the light reflected from the lower surface of the film, and light ray DR2 is the light emerged out from the upper surface of the film. So in this diagram, I is the angle of incident, R is the angle of refraction, mu is the refractive index of the material of the wedge-shaped thin film, and small t is the thickness of the film. Now let us draw a normal dm from point D on the ray path BR1 and normal dn on path BC as shown in this diagram. Here the one important thing is that wedge shape film, it means its thickness is not uniform along the length. As the length goes on varying, its thickness changes, which is shown in this diagram. Now let's see the optical path difference between two reflected rays R1 and R2, which is shown in the figure, can be written as delta is equal to mu into bracket BC plus CD minus BM. Let's say this is equation number 1. So according to the geometry which is shown in the figure, delta is equal to mu into in bracket Bn plus Nc plus Cd minus Bm. That is BC is equal to is nothing but the Bn plus Nc. Therefore, in triangle BMD, sin I is equal to Bm upon BD, and in triangle BND, sin R is equal to Bn upon BD. Therefore, according to the Snell's law, mu is equal to sin I upon sin R. Therefore, mu is equal to sin I upon sin R is equal to Bm upon BD divided by Bn upon BD. So BD will get cancelled. So we can write mu is equal to Bm upon Bn. So rearranging this equation, we can write Bm is equal to mu into Bn. Let's say this is equation number 2. Hence, delta is equal to mu into in bracket Bn plus Nc plus Cd bracket complete minus mu Bn. Therefore, after simplification according to the geometry which is shown in the diagram, we can write path difference delta is equal to mu in bracket Nc plus Cd. Therefore, from triangle DCL, CD is equal to CL and NC plus CL is equal to NL. Hence, delta is equal to mu into in bracket NC plus CL. Therefore, according to the geometry, delta is equal to mu into NL. Let's say this is equation number 3. In triangle NDL, cos of R plus theta is equal to NL upon DL. But DL is equal to 2t, that is the twice of the thickness. Hence, cos of R plus theta is equal to NL upon 2t. Therefore, rearranging this equation, we can write 2 into t into cos of R plus theta is equal to NL. Therefore, from equation number 3, we can write delta is equal to 2 into mu into t into cos of R plus theta. Let's say this is equation number 4. Now let's see the correction on account of phase change at reflection. When a beam is reflected from a denser medium, that is ray R1 at point B, a path change of lambda by 2 occurs for the ray. Therefore, the above equation we can write the true path difference is delta is equal to 2 mu t cos of R plus theta plus lambda by 2. Let's say this is equation number 5. This equation number 5 is the equation of path difference for the interference in wedge shape thin film. Now let's see the conditions for maxima, that is the bright fringe. The maxima occurs when path difference delta is equal to n lambda, where n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. Therefore, delta is equal to 2 mu t cos of R plus theta plus lambda by 2. This is according to the equation number 5. So equating this equation number 5 and the path difference equation, that is delta is equal to n lambda, we can write 2 mu t cos of R plus theta plus lambda by 2 is equal to n lambda. Therefore, rearranging this equation, finally we can write 2 mu t cos of R plus theta is equal to plus minus in bracket 2n minus 1 bracket complete into lambda divided by 2. Let's say this is equation number 6. In equation number 6, n is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So this is the equation number 6 is the condition of maxima. Now next let's see the condition of minima, that is for the dark fringe. So minima occurs when the path difference delta is equal to in bracket 2n minus 1 bracket complete into lambda divided by 2. According to the equation number 5, delta is equal to 2 mu t cos of r plus theta plus lambda by 2. So equating these two equations, we can write 2 mu t cos of r plus theta plus lambda by 2 is equal to in bracket 2n minus 1 into lambda divided by 2. So rearranging this equation, we can write 2 mu t cos of r plus theta is equal to plus minus n lambda. Let's say this is equation number 7. So this equation number 7 is the condition of minima. Now let's discuss some problem solving related to this topic. Problem number 1. A parallel beam of sodium light strikes a film of oil floating on water. When viewed at an angle of 30 degrees from the normal in reflecting light, eighth dark band is seen. Determine the thickness of the film. Refractive index of the oil is, that is mu is equal to 1.46, and the wavelength of the sodium light, that is lambda, is equal to 5890 angstrom unit. So the solution for this problem is, let given parameters are angle of incident, that is I is equal to 30 degrees. Refractive index of oil is, that is mu is equal to 1.46. Wavelength of sodium light is lambda is equal to 5890 angstrom unit. And for 8th dark band, therefore n is equal to 8. Now we have formula, that is Snell's law, mu is equal to sin I upon sin r. Therefore the condition for minima is 2 mu t cos of r is equal to n lambda. Therefore, according to the Snell's law, mu is equal to sin I upon sin r, we can write mu 1.46 is equal to sin 30 degree divided by sin of r. Sin 30 degree, I is the angle of incidence. Therefore, sin r, the angle of refraction, is equal to 0.5 divided by 1.46. So that is equal to 0.3424. So sin r is equal to 0.3424. So angle of refraction r is equal to 20 degrees. Therefore the thickness of the thin film is given by the condition for minima is, rearranging the equation, small t is equal to n into lambda divided by 2 into mu into cos of r. So value of n, that is the 8th dark band, is n is equal to 8. So 8, and lambda's value is 5890 into 10 raised to minus 8 of meter. So divided by 2 into mu's value is given 1.46 into cos of r, we have already calculated, r is equal to 20 degree. So after putting these values and calculating, we get t is equal to 1.7 into 10 raised to minus 4 centimeter. So this is the thickness of the film. Now let's see problem number 2. A wedge-shaped air film having an angle of 40 seconds illuminated by monochromatic light and fringes in reflected system are observed through a microscope. The distance between the consecutive bright fringes was measured as 0.12 centimeter. Calculate the wavelength of light used. The solution of this problem is as follows. Angle of wedge film, that is theta, is equal to 40 seconds. Therefore, theta is equal to 40 into pi divided by 60 into 60 into 180, that is equal to 1.9 into 10 raised to minus 4 radians. We simply converted seconds into radians. The distance between the consecutive bright fringes is beta is equal to 0.12 centimeter. Therefore, fringe width, we have formula beta is equal to lambda upon 2 theta. So rearranging this equation for the lambda is equal to 2 into beta into theta. Therefore, by simply putting the values, 2 into beta is 0.12 into theta is 1.9 into 10 raised to minus 4, that is in radians. Therefore, lambda is equal to 5 into 10 raised to minus 5 centimeter. So simply we can say lambda is equal to 5000 angstrom unit. So this is the wavelength of the light which is used. This is all about interference phenomena and interference in thin film of uniform thickness and interference in wedge-shaped film. In my next lecture video, I will discuss about applications of interference, that is testing optical flatness and anti-reflection coating. So please don't miss my next lecture video. Thank you. Below this video, in the description, the link of important information related to this video is given. Please go through it. Please like and share this video and subscribe to Dr. Khalkar's Classroom channel to get the notifications about my upcoming videos. Thank you.